Today's video is brought to you by Manscaped.com, the global men's lifestyle brand that's disrupting the beard market. Stick around to find out how you can save 20% off the new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. Hello everyone, my name is Holden Hardman. Thank you so much for joining us again for another video. Today we are watching the final movie in our Terminator journey, Terminator Dark Fate. As of filming this, maybe there'll be another one in the near future, we'll see. Just so you know, we talked about this a little bit in Terminator Genesis, but James Cameron has returned as producer, not as director, for Terminator Dark Fate. As far as the continuity goes, we talked a little bit in Genesis about how Terminator Genesis kind of pigeonholed themselves as far as the writing goes because they've made it so complicated. But since James Cameron has returned for this one, as far as James Cameron is concerned, this is Terminator 3. So the events of Terminator Salvation, the events of Terminator 3, the events of Terminator Genesis have not happened. So now we're starting to get into multiple lines here. So Terminator 1, Terminator 2, and then this is the follow-up, Terminator 3, as far as James Cameron's world goes. Tim Miller directed this one. I believe he also did Deadpool. I was reading some stuff about how James Cameron and Tim Miller were working because James Cameron's not directing, but it's still his, his baby. It's still his project. So they had some disagreements about kind of the directions of how things would go, disagreements about how some scenes should play out, but we'll see if that affects the overall quality of the movie. How are you feeling going into Terminator Dark Fate?
Gosh, I loved the first three Terminators, but that last one really depleted me. On one hand, I'm very nervous just based off of the last movie, but when you mention that James Cameron is involved, that makes me feel a little bit better about it. But I hope that they revert back to just keeping it simple, not trying to change too much. I see that Linda Hamilton is gonna be back. That could be interesting. Don't know if Arnold is gonna be in this one. I don't remember if he was in the preview or not. I'm hoping that they recover on this one. I want a lot of action. I want Arnold to come back. I really do, because that would be great to have Arnold and Linda Hamilton. We'll have to see, but I hope that they end on a high note.
After watching all these movies pretty back-to-back for us, I can't help but feel that Terminator Genesis really is the wrench that was thrown into the cog of the Terminator movies. Everything else, I mean, even Terminator 3, which we had some criticism about for sure, still kind of fit. Terminator Salvation still fit, a good bit. And then Terminator Genesis just threw everything out of whack. Up until that point, a little rocky, but not like off-road where I feel like we're at now. So Terminator Dark Fate, I'm looking forward to watching this. I only saw it once when it was in theaters, and I'll give some of my thoughts how I felt after we watched the movie. But for now, let's go ahead and get into, not the movie, but the comment of the day. Today's comment of the day comes from Dylan Approved Films, who says, would love to see your guys' reaction to Dark Fate. It's a direct sequel to this one, meaning Terminator 2, and I think it's great. Got lots of hate, and I can understand why so many people dislike it, but it still is a kick-A action flick. My second favorite of the franchise. Well, hopefully you'll still form your own opinion from that. But thank you so much for your comment of the day. If you want your comment featured in a comment of the day, leave us a comment down below. We'll check those out. But for now, we have to let the dogs out real quick, and then let's watch Terminator Dark Fate. Our friends at Manscaped.com sent me their brand new Beard Hedger Pro Kit for me to check out. As a man with a glorious beard, I know what it's like to try to tame the facial hair mane. Do you prefer to make your beard shapely that accentuates your jawline? Or do you prefer the more subtle 5 o'clock look that says, yeah, I like to fight, but I'd prefer to read poetry? Oh, you think poetry isn't manly? Tell that to Ernest Hemingway, who fought in World War I. Old Man in the Sea? More like Old Man in the Sea.
These nuts. Ha! Got him!
Here he is showing a picture of himself before becoming a man. The Beard Hedger has 20 hair cutting lengths that can be selected from the zoom wheel, so you get 20 different lengths with one guard. The Beard Hedger features a powerful 7200 RPM motor with a titanium-coated T-blade that cuts hair in a single stroke. It's also waterproof for wet or dry operation and is safe to use when you're clearing out your Amazon rainforest down there. Manscaped's beard shampoo and conditioner is safe for the environment, your skin, and is cruelty-free. Only always hurt animals. The Beard Hedger Pro Kit also comes with a beard comb, scissors, and a brush. Go to manscaped.com today to get 20% off, plus free shipping when you use promo code Holden20 at checkout. 20% off plus free international shipping with promo code Holden20 at manscaped.com.
I can still see. Children look like burnt paper. And they fly apart like leaves.
I'm sure it feels very real to you.
It's gonna feel pretty real to you too.
Dun 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 dun.
He's been doing that for the last like 3 days, just nonstop. Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Oh.
That future never happened because I stopped it.
Looks pretty good.
Oh.
Looks really good.
Is that like computer de-aging?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, looks really good.
Yeah. You can see it's a little imperfect, but I mean, only because you're looking for it.
Ugh.
Woo!
Once, I saved 3 billion lives, but I couldn't save my son.
That's cool. Ooh.
Oh.
A tu amiga, güey.
No sé, ni la conocemos.
Lleven señoritas encueradas.
Ew.
Jeez.
Thanks, lady. You just saved our asses.
Don't thank me yet.
La mano está lastimada.
Oh. This guy who was Tommy in The Last of Us.
Buenos días.
Buenos días, señor.
Encuentra a Daniela Ramos.
Soy un amigo de ella.
Tus amigos la llaman Dani.
Dani.
Discúlpeme, señor.
¿Sí?
Dani Ramos.
Yeah, she doesn't stand out at all.
The game.
Jeez. It was like, actually, it's pretty good. Same size. Yeah, that's not.
Me olvidaste tu comida, mijo.
Pero si le empacó.
Ahí está.
Oh!
Oh my gosh.
That is a machine that was sent here to kill you.
Ooh.
Nice.
I like the darker material.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, he flies now?
No, he's just, he's a good lunger. Ooh. Hats off to you. Ooh. Jeez. Nice.
Huh.
Terminator's just getting stronger.
Rev 9. He was sent here from the future. I was too. Get in.
That's a lot.
You're a machine too?
No, I'm human like you. I'm augmented.
Policía.
You're my mission. Me?
Hey. Oh, they were going to soccer practice. Ooh. Poor guy in the middle is just trying to get to work. Jeez.
Wow.
That's cool.
What?
It's like a hybrid. Solid metal and liquid metal.
That's crazy. Oh.
Oh, Allstate's not gonna cover this one.
Oh no.
Oh, Diego. Go, Diego, go.
Oh. Ran that guy over with his own
I
car.
know, I was trying to check on him. Oh, Diego. To heaven.
He died for nothing. No.
GG looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Oh no.
Gotta do with this thing now, too.
Oh yeah. Sarah Connor.
Sarah Connor. Look at her, just
The shades for me.
got these at the Circle K. Oh! Dum 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 dum.
I'll be back.
Just, I'll take this.
Just. Son of a bitch. I have to tell my father about Diego.
It's not possible.
Yeah, your father's dead.
It needs physical contact to copy people. They don't survive.
Looks good. It's gonna be Savannah in driver's ed.
I know.
Chris.
She probably didn't need to knock all those down. Looks like she went out of her way to do that.
Insulin, benzodiazepine.
Perdón.
Here's my prescription.
Grace.
I save your ass, then you steal my truck. Nice. Give me that before you hurt yourself.
You got a phone? Could I see it for a sec?
Hey, ¿qué pasa, güera?
Might as well be wearing a tracking bracelet.
I'm on it in a couple of states. 50, actually.
Boy, we are 5 clicks out.
Jeez. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Jeez.
I volunteer. Make me an augment.
Talk fast.
Want me out of the room?
Sometimes mommies and daddies grown up. So you're here to protect her. Almost human.
I am human.
My name is Sarah Connor. A Terminator was sent to kill me. To stop the birth of my son, John. Against Skynet.
I've never heard of it.
Good. Skynet had sent several Terminators to hunt him. Carried out orders from a future that never happened. I hunt Terminators. You two won't last 10 hours.
You get in my way, I will f you up. It's called Legion.
Legion.
An AI built for cyber warfare.
So we have Skynet, Genesis, Legion.
Well, Genesis isn't a part of this continuity now.
I get these texts. Precise GPS coordinates, dates.
You ever find out who sends those texts?
No. What are you doing?
Future My commander had them tattoo these coordinates on me. It's the same location your texts come from.
You want to cross the U.S. border with an undocumented Mexican, a woman who had her own episode on America's Most Wanted.
Jeez.
Somebody just trying to do their job.
Day one, everything just stops.
Oh my goodness.
They thought they could contain Legion with tactical EMP strikes. And by day 3, the whole world was at war.
Wonder why the EMP strikes didn't work.
Some men killed my dad over a can of peaches.
Del Monte.
When we
Eat a
thought the worst
peach.
was over, then Legion started to...
Let me guess. Danny gives birth to the one man that can stop it.
¡A mi niña hermosa!
There's a machine out there. A robot. It's what killed Papi and Diego.
Sold.
Neglects to bring us donuts.
Terrence, shut the f up.
Oh, Terrence. Not Terrence.
Suspects are now 220 meters south of checkpoint 7 Bravo.
Deadly force is authorized.
Stop! U.S. Border Patrol!
Female suspects in custody.
Oh.
Was that the Terminator trying to kill her?
Yeah.
Seems kind of like a stupid move. Why wouldn't he just go to where she's being held and...
I think that's plan B.
Country of origin. It's the truth, ma'am. Please, officer, you have to believe me.
I just got TD White here to pick up a new detainee.
Danny Ramos, please lock your weapon.
Was she even alive with all this stuff in her?
The whole body's a weapon.
Save it for the ladies.
Metal hip. 2 tours in Afghanistan.
We don't get a lot of famous around here.
Where do they take the new prisoners?
They're called detainees, and we
She said they're called detainees.
promise.
We gotta go.
Jeez. Oh. Should have listened. Oh, it's like watching Prototype.
Oh my goodness.
We gotta go.
I feel like they'd make a Terminator that could fly at some point.
Detainee got loose, unlocked all the cages, just chaos from there. Boys know where I can get my hands on a chopper.
Carl, that's the plan.
We never leave you hanging.
Carl's the Mr. Texter.
Yay! I was really starting to lose hope that he was going to be in this.
Oh, you see her reaction. Oh.
Sarah Connor.
It's fine, it's fine.
I'll kill you. That thing killed John. Is that true?
Yes.
If this man can help,
Not a man. A Terminator.
So you're
Yes. Sabadan Systems Model 101.
Oh.
Poor Sarah.
I don't have a photograph of John. But now I'm forgetting his face.
Who gave you that?
He's kind of living the life.
Yeah, he's got a nice little pad, a little his own business.
Is he the exact one that killed her son?
I think so, yeah.
Nice family. Is she a Terminator too?
His name is Mateo. I met his mother, Alicia, a few months after I killed John. Caring for this family gave me purpose. I began to understand what I had taken from you.
Wait, you grew a conscience? So what about the texts?
To give you purpose, Sarah. I thought it would bring meaning to your son's death. This will be very hard to explain to Alicia.
It's Terminator.
You chose to change the future. You set me free.
No, Alicia.
Alicia.
How's he going to explain this?
Hi, honey. Hi. We have company. That's a great idea, Alicia.
He's got a dog, too.
This is so odd.
I'm never gonna call you Carl. She hasn't noticed that you weigh 400 pounds. That you never sleep.
He appreciated that they could change diapers efficiently and without any complaints. And I'm extremely funny.
Look at how he's sitting, too.
Set up a kill box.
I know.
He's a Terminator.
My plan is to hide her at the bottom of a mine shaft. At least
Just
until...
stop it! I'm not hiding at the bottom of a mine shaft. We're gonna set up a
Kill box.
kill box.
This plan has a high probability of success. calculate a 74% chance that human civilization will collapse into barbarism.
These literally doomsday preppers.
Also, this is Texas. Our best option is to secure a military-grade energy weapon.
An EMP.
You've been tracking me?
You want to keep your phone in a bag of potato chips.
Oh.
I won't be back.
This is all over. I am going to kill you.
I understand.
Dun 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 dun.
They can destroy the look of the entire room. You wanted to have solid colored drapes in a little girl's room. I said, don't do it.
I said, don't do it.
You got my birthday present?
Bodyguard? I do drapes. He has found us.
Oh. Man.
We're in, go!
This guy is just relentless. Oh, his van.
Headed for the west gate. Pursued by hostiles and a stolen police helicopter.
Unauthorized airspace. Turn around now or we will open fire.
Don't touch me.
All right, Sarah.
I tell you, you can't have tuna while you're pregnant.
True.
Don't touch me. Whoa. Oh. Oh, Carl's truck. Oh.
It's gonna fall on somebody's house.
He literally did.
Sorry about your shit. We have a problem. I estimate our chances at 12%.
Who found me in the ruins after Judgment Day? You saved me.
Are we supposed to lie down and die because some machine decided it?
You taught me to hope. We rose up out of the ashes and we took our world back. You are not the mother of some man who saves the future. That's why Legion wants you dead.
You're John.
I'm sorry I didn't tell you this before.
Jeez. Jeez.
Uh-oh.
Open the cargo bay.
Ugh. How is this Humvee gonna provide safe passage?
I think it has a parachute. If not, they're just gonna die in there.
All right.
It's close. Jeez.
No, Grace. Really?
Oh.
It's not a bad idea, trying to trap it like that.
Where is it?
I don't know, I lost him. We can't stay here. We gotta go. Danny, you have to run. You have to run. We can't protect you. There's another weapon.
What?
My power source. No.
Yeah.
I need you to hurry up. Carl.
Come on, Carl.
You look terrible. You left this on the plane.
This is our kill box.
I'm not running!
Give me the girl. Legion is the only future.
I came from a future like that. It failed.
Ugh.
Jeez. Oh, Carl.
Grace! Hey!
Oh.
It doesn't seem like they really know like what is gonna beat this thing.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oh.
Like I would hope that would do it.
It's not dead.
We have my power source. Get it close and it'll fry his neural net.
Grace.
Jeez. Ugh.
Uh-oh.
Carl! Wake up!
It's like
Carl.
me trying to get you up in the morning. Oh no!
Carl.
Honestly, if they would have sent like 2 of those things, they probably would have accomplished the goal.
Yeah. Oh, it's like peeling his skin off. How many times does a T-800 have to die for these people?
A charm.
Oh. So Legion does happen.
Yeah, as of now, yeah. Now she has the same problem that Sarah Connor had. Send her back to save you knowing she's gonna die. What about Carl's family?
I won't let her die for me again.
Oh.
All right, just finished watching Terminator Dark Fate. I'd love to know your thoughts on this one. What did you think?
I don't honestly know how to feel about this one. There were some things that I liked about it and some things that I didn't. Ironically, right off the bat, the last movie that we did, the 5th one, I commented that I liked that they kind of focused on the emotional part about Sarah having the attachment to the Terminator and kind of that moment when he was like, protect my Sarah. However, with this movie, I think that they pushed it a little too far for me. The idea of Carl, the Terminator, having like family, having any emotion at all, and he's a machine, to the extent that they depicted it in this movie, I did not like. Because at the end of the day, Terminator is a machine. He is. So I think less is more with that, and they just overdid it with this one. Like, his name is Carl. Like, I can't even like see him as the Terminator anymore. It's like Carl. Loved seeing Sarah Connor come back. I thought she was great.
Grace?
I really liked, actually. In the beginning, I wasn't sure, but I think that she pulled it off. I also liked how she was kind of a enhanced human. Danny, she was okay. For me, she wasn't really memorable. Another thing that I did like was the fact that they didn't do exactly the same thing with like Sarah Connor's son was the one that saved the human race, and Danny was gonna be the same thing. It was gonna be her child that saved the human race. It was actually her. So I like that they kind of switched it up a little bit. I was a little worried in the beginning because when they threw it at us like, oh, it's the same situation, I was like, oh God, come on. So they actually did that. I was really happy about it. The liquid metal guy, I thought he was pretty good. Not to Robert Patrick's level, of course, but I think that he did a pretty good job, and I love the black on black and the fact that this movie depicted how well they have really advanced these Terminators. Do I think it was drawn out a little bit? Yeah, a smidge. Better than the last one, I'll give it that. But again, it doesn't, for me, it doesn't hold the same qualities that the first two, and definitely the third one. Also, I just realized I'm, again, confused because you mentioned at the beginning that James Cameron said this is like the third one.
Right.
We found out either in the third one or the fourth one with the information that John Connor was killed by our Terminator, right? So if that movie isn't in the timeline, I assume that didn't happen.
Well, John was never killed as a kid by any of our Terminators until this movie.
Why did he kill him though? Why did our Terminator kill him?
Okay. In this movie?
Yes.
Okay. In Terminator 1, Skynet sent the first Terminator that we ever saw, Arnold Schwarzenegger, off to kill Sarah Connor. When they sent that Terminator back, they also sent multiple Terminators back at different points in the timeline in case any of them failed. So like when that Terminator failed to kill John Connor, it had already sent others back in time. One to try and kill him when he was like 10, one to try and kill him when he was like 15, one to try and kill him when he was like 25, to try and just get him at some point in the timeline. That's why in this movie, she's like, sometimes I would get these text messages from this random number, and every time I'd go there, this Terminator would pop up and I would kill it. That was from Skynet having sent those multiple Terminators back to different points in the timeline. So Terminator 1 happened, we're all good. Terminator 2 happens, they stop Judgment Day, which means Skynet is no longer exists, but Skynet had already sent those Terminators back in time, so that was already going to happen regardless, even though Skynet's not there. Which is why she's like, my son died by a Terminator that was sent from a future that no longer exists. So it gets a little bit more convoluted there. So in Terminator 2, the Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator that was sent back in time by John Connor to protect John Connor, younger John Connor, he died with Robert Patrick in like the molten lava, and he did like the thumbs up going through the molten lava. So he's dead, all that happened. Dark Fate happens, Terminator 3, the official continuation of Terminator 3. When Sarah and John were at that little tiki hut, or wherever they were at the beach, another Terminator, T-800.
A good one or a bad one?
This one was a bad one. They're all bad that are coming back now. So this Terminator comes back to kill John Connor, even though they had already stopped Judgment Day, Skynet was already destroyed, but because Skynet had already sent those Terminators back in time, those events were already in motion.
But you said that this was the same Terminator.
No, this was the Terminator that killed John Connor at the beginning of this movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why did he kill him?
Because Skynet sent him back to kill him. Skynet sent back all these Terminators in time. So like if any of those Terminators failed to kill John, they didn't have just one shot, they had several that they were going to try and kill John Connor. That's why Sarah kept getting text messages from that one Terminator saying, at this point in time, this date and location, a Terminator's gonna pop up. That Terminator was sent to kill John Connor, but John Connor had already died. He was already terminated earlier. So those other Terminators were just a contingency by Skynet in case their plan didn't go through.
I guess I'm thrown off.
Wait.
I'm thrown off because are you saying that he was... Because the reason he's a good Terminator is because the human race engineered him to protect John.
No.
Why? See,
Wrong.
My whole belief system is...
In Terminator 2, the reason Arnold was good was because that Terminator was originally a bad Terminator that John Connor in the future reprogrammed to be good.
That's what I'm saying.
But that Terminator died at the end of Terminator 2, so he is gone. This Terminator, this Arnold Schwarzenegger, was sent back evil, killed John Connor, fulfilled his programming and mission, and then didn't know Sarah Connor. They never interacted after that. Went about his life for 20-some years, just sort of grew a conscience and became good because he found purpose, you know, after he fulfilled the one program he had.
Okay.
You know, that's when he gained some sentience and had choice now. So this Terminator is different than any other Terminators that we've seen.
Okay, I think I was thrown off because when I asked you, was it the same Terminator, you said yes. So in my mind, I was like, why?
He was the one that killed John at the beginning of this movie, yes. But he was not the same one in Terminator 2.
So
he
he completed his mission,
right,
and then
John.
didn't have anything else to do.
Correct.
And then remained good.
And then became good. It's iffy. I'm with you.
I think I'm just really thrown off by it because of the way that the first two movies were and the way that the Terminator was in those movies. That doesn't make sense to me. That like he completed his mission and then he just like adopted goodness. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. So, it's probably just me, and I'm like at this point where I think the last Terminator movie and this movie, like, really screwed with my head. Like, I watched the first and the second one, and I was like, oh, that makes perfect sense. That makes sense. But these two movies really screwed up, and now I'm like overthinking all these little things. Like I said, it was not as bad as the previous one, but still not what I would have wanted from my Terminator movies.
So Terminator Dark Fate is not as convoluted as Genesis, but it still does get a little dicey, like we've already talked about. The problem with any Terminator moving forward now, they're bound by needing something to go into the past, or they're needing to justify a war after the events of Terminator 2. Because in Terminator 2, they did stop Skynet. I do think that it's smart that the way that they handled this, that Skynet would have contingencies if the T-1000 that they sent in Terminator 2 or the T-800 that they sent in Terminator 1 failed. That makes sense to me. I thought I remembered a line in either Terminator 1 or Terminator 2 that they were limited in the amount that they could send back. And that's the reason that they didn't send like a whole army to kill John Connor, that they could only send like one. I don't remember for sure, but I thought that was an initial problem.
So I think it was the third one, when they were in the RV, and they were talking about John Connor being killed by the Terminator. Is this the incident that they were referring to? Because that's initially what threw me off.
I think that might have been Terminator 3, which did not happen in this continuity.
That's what threw me off.
Didn't happen.
Because I thought back to that when they were discussing it.
So that didn't happen, and I think John died like in the future. They like referenced him dying in the future by a Terminator later off screen that they didn't see. But that didn't happen in this continuity. And this one is Terminator 1, Terminator 2, and then Dark Fate. But I can't remember the line if they said something that the Skynet could only send a couple. And then the problem with Terminator is that now, how are you gonna have another movie without Skynet? Well, just make another AI that takes over, and that's what they did in this one with Legion. And Grace had no idea what Skynet was, so it's like, well, what are we fighting for if they're just gonna keep doing this? And this is just screenwriting. They wanna keep making Terminator movies, so they have to justify people fighting machines. And so I think if this were like reality, probably once you're probably good to go, but they want to just keep making more. I like seeing Sarah Connor return. I like that she's still gruff and tough. Danny, I liked her. I liked Danny a lot. I didn't have any real complaints with her. I just didn't find her like really intimidating. Sarah Connor in Terminator 2, I thought just was able to bring like a presence of authority and of like strength. Danny probably wasn't there yet when they were doing like the flashback sequences. I liked her now, kind of learning and like trying to like toughen up, but when they would show the sequences in the future where she she like already is the leader, I was like, all right, maybe not. Arnold, I thought was great. I fully 100% agree with you that at the end of the day, he is a machine. And the biggest problem that they had in Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 is that he cannot feel any empathy. He does not feel fear. He cannot be reasoned with. That's like the whole thing with him being a Terminator. So outside of the explanation of he was reprogrammed down the line or something happened, he had some kind of outside influence that made him good or made him develop a conscience, I don't really buy. I don't really buy him fulfilling his programming and then he just met a human and suddenly he became good. That implies that there's some sort of ghost in the shell, if you will. And I didn't like that explanation in here either. I like the idea of the Terminator that killed John Connor becoming good. I do think that that's good, but I think that their method of making him go from Terminator machine to good, rational, I thought that was pretty weak. Grace and the new Terminator, the Rev 9. I liked both of them. I really like the design of the new Terminator of like half skeleton and mass and half liquid metal. I thought that was great so that he could split off into two to do two things simultaneously. I thought that was wonderful. I love that. I like the guy who played him. He was able to, I thought he played him really, really well. I did like Grace. I think one thing that bogged down the movie was the injectable thing. I understand why they did that. They needed to kind of give her some kind of additional weakness, but I think more than anything, it just bogged and slowed the movie down a little bit. You could have had everything happen the same way with the end, with her ripping out the augmentation or whatever, and it not really have changed that. She just would have gotten beaten. So I think that just slowed it down. We spent a whole scene of them just like at a grocery store, you know, to justify that. And I understand why they did it. It makes sense that she would have these short bursts and that would eat up her metabolism, I get it. Overall, it's not the worst one. I think Genesis in comparison really bogged down the whole franchise. This one comes in a little bit more convoluted, some problems that I obviously have with it. I do think that the CGI in Genesis was actually a bit better than this, with the exception of maybe a couple of the scenes with the Terminator, the new one, the Rav 9, I think. What would you rate Dark Fate?
Oh boy, you guys. I feel like I'm still recovering from the last one. But this one definitely was not as bad as the last one. I liked the Terminator in this one. I thought he was pretty intimidating. The CGI was really well done. Loved seeing our girl Sarah Connor back, and love our Terminator. But I hate what they did with like piling on him being this like emotional Terminator now. I think they should have just stuck with the little tiny bit that they actually gave us in the last one. Just him saying, you know, protect my Sarah. That's good enough for me. I feel like that's appropriate. But him having like a family, focusing this much on that emotional side just doesn't make sense for the Terminator. And especially leaving it on that note, I'm gonna score this a 6.5.
They had a lot of things that I really liked a lot. I think this had some of the best like fight sequences between Grace and the Rav 9. I don't know if it's Rev 9 or Rav 9. The new Terminator. I think that they had some wonderful fight sequences, super entertaining, and multiple times throughout the movie. So I think that those were some highlights for sure. I think the concept of Sarah Connor having to be confronted with the Terminator that killed her son and having to work with him, I think is really, really interesting. I like that, but I think where this movie falls is its foundation is the storyline of the Legion thing, no more Skynet, developing conscience with no other explanation than that. It's about as likely as my dishwasher developing a conscience. It's just not gonna happen, it's a machine. So for me, this movie's a 6. But of course, these are just our opinions. We'd love to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Are we being too harsh? Or are we not being harsh enough? Let us know. Highlights for me definitely were Sarah Connor and Arnold Schwarzenegger, big time. Grace was a great addition too, I thought. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. It does help the channel out a lot. Subscribe, you'll be notified when we post the next video. Check out Patreon. You can watch these before anyone else, ad-free until they're published, and you can watch the full-length reaction with us. But for now, that is it. We'll catch you in the next movie series or one-off movies that we do. And for now, that is it. Jen and I appreciate you watching. We'll catch you in the next video. Take care.
So I'm trying to figure out this timeline.
We've been working out We've been working out the continuity thing. So in Terminator 3, there's a moment where they're driving with Arnold, and Claire Danes and John Connor are driving, and that Terminator says that he killed John Connor in the future. Claire Danes, Catherine Brewster, reprogrammed him to go back in time to protect John and to protect her, essentially, or to protect her and to protect John, essentially. But remember, in this continuity, that never happened. So yes, a Terminator in Terminator 3, which would still be different from this Terminator, the one in Terminator 2 and the one in Terminator 1, that one was sent back in time after it had killed John Connor. In the future though, not in the past. So, but remember, continuity, that never happened. So only Terminator 1, Terminator 2, and Terminator Dark Fate in this case.
You can't just do that. That doesn't make any sense because that's really what's screwing me up. Because that conversation was what popped in my head when I saw that the Terminator killed him. I'm like, oh, that's what they're talking about. That was the incident.
Nope.
So that really just didn't match up with what they were saying in this one about him just like having nothing else to do after he accomplished his mission and like killed him.
Yeah, killed him as a kid.
So yes, and I thought that that was Terminator 4.
3 is the one with Claire Danes.
So according to James Cameron, did Terminator 4 happen?
No. Just Terminator Dark Fate 2 and 1. 1, 2, and Dark Fate.